Welcome to another video by Farrell's Technology. Today we're going to discuss the format function, how to use it, and show it to you in action. So let's get started. The format function carries four possible arguments, two of which you'll use quite regularly, but the two at the end are kind of obscure. I'll cover them really quick, but there's a setting for first day of week and setting of first week of year. Both of those being date functions, you'd set the format to be a date format, and then you'd give it an expression, a field on one of your forms, or a static expression that you just send directly to it. But let's take a look at each one of these individually. Expression and format, those two, they come with a variety of settings. Basically, if you've got a number, you're going to have a different set of formats than you have with dates and times. And so numbers, you use predefined named numeric formats, or you could create some user-defined formats like a comma format or dashes in certain places. If you've got an invoice number or some such type of thing, you could then create a custom format. The same with dates and times. You can use the standard formats that are given, or you can create user-defined formats and dates and times. And we'll show you some of those custom-rolled ones as well as the ones that are just canned and just predefined. Strings, you can create your own user-defined strings, and that would be ones with dashes and so forth in them. Strings that might be a serial number that has a character prefix with a dash and then a numeric ending. Those types of things you can create and format as different strings. Now, the first day of the week argument has several variables. Of course, there's 7 days in a week, so that there is one that says use the system date, and then 7 of them that give you a constant or a value that's just a static number that you can then use for the first day of the week argument. And obviously, you're not always going to use the first day of the week, but that's what it's called. The next one is the first week of year argument. It has, first January 1st, so the start week that begins with January 1st in it, or the first 4-day full week, so that you say the week has to have at least 4 days in order to be called the first day of the week. Or you could say the first full week of the year, starting with Sunday and going till Saturday. Or you could just use the system. The system uses the NLS API setting. Okay, so that gets done with the obscure, and we can move on and take a quick look at our demo here. So what I have here is a quick demo that shows how each one of them is formatted, and I have the immediate window off to the right showing how each element gives its output. Notice I have a debug.print after each format being given the variable my_str. So we debug.print that to the immediate window so we can see it. So let's begin this and take a look at it. And now after hitting the run button, it stops at my stop right there. You see it yellow highlighted. I'm going to go ahead under the debug menu and click step into. Now, from now on, I'm going to use the F8 on my keyboard. Now, the first thing we're going to see is a long time up there. And so it took the system time and printed it as a long time. The next time it took the system date, it's one of those canned keywords, and prints it as a long date out there. The next one we're going to do here is we're going to print a very short date, only a single H, single M, and single S for hours, minutes, and seconds. And that will return a 24-hour date with only a single digit when the numbers are in the single digit range. For the next one, we're going to take a my time, and we're going to have 2 letters for hours, minutes, and seconds. Then we're going to put AM/PM after it, and that'll give us a 12-hour date with an AM/PM after it. The next one, we're going to take that same date, and we're going to put 4 Ds in front to return the day, the fully written out day, and then a written out month, and a D for day, and a 4 Ys for year. Notice no commas or other punctuation, and what we get in the immediate window is Wednesday, January 7, 2023. So the next one we want to do is show you that if you don't put a format in there, you're just going to get a text string. So it's going to return, even if you put a number in there, it'll return a string of whatever you put in, number or letters. It won't matter. It'll still be a text string. I'm going to roll a couple custom formats here, and I'm going to put 5,459 into a comma separated number there, pounds with a comma separating it and zeros. A number over 5,000 prints the comma, where a number under 5,000 or under 1,000 does not print the comma. So that makes it kind of nice. Here's the percent here. If I take 5 and put it in a percent with 2 digits after the decimal point, I get 500.00 as a percent. Now I can also play with text, and here's the lowercase symbol telling it I want to print hello in lowercase. So it takes the capital hello and prints it as lowercase hello. And then I play with the next one. I give it all lowercase, and it prints as a full uppercase. So here's several examples about how you can actually use the format function. And the point here is that the format function becomes extremely useful when you want to output text, let's say in a form or in a report, and you don't have a whole lot of control at the form or report level, but need to have that explicit control just for the output that you're doing. So hopefully you've got something good out of this video. And if you do, hit the like button. And we'd sure like it if you subscribed and came back and saw more videos later. Thanks.